Good morning, everyone. If we could have everyone take their seats, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Lori Bays, and I'm Assistant City Manager for the City of Phoenix, and Councilwoman O'Brien and I would like to welcome you to today's meeting. So today we are going to be having a budget hearing for the proposed fiscal year 24-25 city budget. But before we actually get started, I want to introduce our interpreter, Mario Barajas, who will introduce himself to any Spanish speakers in the audience.
Thank you, Lori. Good morning. My name is Mario Barajas. I'm going to be serving as today's Spanish interpreter. Now I'm going to introduce myself to our Spanish speakers. Buenos días. Yo soy Mario Barajas. Voy a servir como intérprete. Quisiéramos avisarles de que si acaso alguien necesita el servicio de intérprete, favor pueden acudir hacia aquí adelante conmigo y podré concederles los auriculares para poder escuchar la interpretación. Gracias. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Mario. And now I'll turn it over to Councilwoman O'Brien for some opening remarks.
Good morning. Thank you, Lori. And I want to thank everybody who is joining us this morning. Phoenix has an incredible budget process. Besides our wonderful budget and research department and all the hard work they do there, Phoenix makes sure that the citizens of the city have multiple opportunities to provide input into the budget and how their dollars are spent. One of that is our Phoenix Fund online. You can also do it by email, but we also go out into all of the districts and have a couple of community-wide budget hearings, and this is one of those in District 1. So I'm thrilled to be here today. More importantly, I'm thrilled that all of you who have given us some of your time this morning to provide your feedback have joined us. So with that, let's get started.
Okay. So this morning we have a couple of videos to show you, and before we move into the one that is focused on the trial budget, we are going to show you a short video about the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And this master plan will define the community's vision and guide the department's direction for the next 10 years and beyond. So it's very, very important. And the Parks and Rec Department would really appreciate your feedback on this plan. So with that, we'll cue the video.
Welcome to the City of Phoenix Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Phoenix Parks and Recreation is dedicated to making Phoenix a better place to live, visit, and play. In this video, we will be answering 3 basic questions. 1. What is a master plan? 2. What is the focus of Phoenix Parks and Recreation's master plan? And 3. How can you get involved? First, what is a master plan? A master plan develops a clear purpose for our department and the vision for recreation facilities, programs, and services for the next decade. A master plan provides an opportunity to receive quality feedback and have meaningful engagement from the community. The Phoenix Parks and Recreation Master Plan will start in fall of 2023 and last approximately 18 months. Second, what is the focus of this master plan? As part of our master plan, Phoenix Parks and Recreation will be evaluating and taking inventory of all existing parks, recreation programming, and facilities, with an emphasis on water conservation and crime prevention. We will also assess community demographics and recreation trends to ensure equitable access to programs and services, and will evaluate how the department prioritizes funding. Lastly, how can you get involved? A large part of the master plan depends on you and your feedback. Phoenix Parks and Recreation will host community workshops, send out surveys, attend community events, survey neighborhoods and parks facilities, and work with community groups to receive feedback about our parks and recreation amenities and services. It's crucial to have public feedback throughout the entire process because, after all, our department serves thousands of Phoenicians every day. Thank you for being part of this journey as we pave the way for the next decade of parks and recreation services, creating spaces for all.
All right, so now we're going to move into our discussion about the trial budget. And again, as Councilwoman O'Brien mentioned, the feedback we received today is important as we finalize the proposed trial budget to present to City Council. We want to make sure that your input is considered and heard before the budget is approved. The proposed budget will be presented to City Council on May 7th and voted on May 21st. As presented to the City Council back on February 27th and March 19th, the fiscal year 24-25 proposed general fund budget includes a one-time $80 million surplus. Unfortunately, due to the state's actions to eliminate residential rental tax effective January 2025 and to reduce the individual income tax rate to the current flat tax, deficits are projected in fiscal year 25-26 and 26-27. Because the city is required to adopt a balanced budget, it is recommended to set aside the $80 million one-time surplus so it may be available to help balance the 25-26 budget. If you wish to speak at today's hearing on the proposed budget, please fill out a comment card. If you do not want to speak but want to leave a comment, fill out the card and mark no where it asks you if you'd like to speak. Another way to participate is through the Fund Phoenix tool. This is an online tool that lets you provide direct feedback on the proposed budget and is available at phoenix.gov/budget. So with that, we will play a 5-minute video on the proposed trial budget, and it also includes information on the general obligation bond approved by the voters on November 7th, 2023. And then immediately following the video, we will move into speaker comments.
The City of Phoenix trial budget for fiscal year 2024-2025, proposed by the Phoenix City Manager, is ready for public review and comment. A trial budget is a preliminary draft of the actual budget, estimating resources and costs to deliver services to the community for the coming fiscal year. The general fund is made up of general sales tax, property taxes, revenue distributed by the state from residents, visitors, and businesses have come to expect in Phoenix, including funds include city departments that only charge the people who use their service, airline passengers at Sky Harbor, and trash and recycling customers. Finally, and voter-approved sales taxes dedicated for parks and preserves, transportation, and public safety. Phoenix has a long history of responsible budgeting, ensuring resources are balanced to projected expenses each fiscal year. Their input ahead of final budget decision-making scheduled first. Each year, departments work with budget and research to estimate costs to deliver existing programs and for services. The city manager then proposes a trial budget in March that identifies how resources should best be allocated to ensure available in English and Spanish, or by contacting the city directly to ensure the budget reflects the priorities. We'll vote on the budget in May and legally adopt the budget in June. State law requires the city's budget to be balanced, and this executive branch has recently made decisions that reduce the city's tax base. Senate Bill 1131 eliminates residential rent. 5 is $54 million, and for fiscal year 25-26, city staff is projecting future deficits in fiscal years 2026 and 2026-27. And it is for this reason the city manager is proposing to future budgets can remain balanced and to preserve existing programs and services such as police and fire, parks, or input in whatever way works best for you. You can use Fund Phoenix, an interactive budget tool in English and Spanish that lets you research at phoenix.gov. You can comment to the city's social media pages at City of Phoenix or call us at 602-262-4800. The city to Phoenix City Council on May 7th, 2024. The council's budget decision will take place on May 21st, 2024. Voters approved a $500 million general obligation bond program made up of 47 projects, city splash pads, street and storm drain infrastructure improvements, projects for arts. GeoBond projects are paid for with secondary property taxes, and more information can be found online at phoenix.gov/bond.
Move into the interactive portion of the meeting. Ryan will call the speaker names. When you're called, please come to the microphone and make sure that you speak into the microphone so you can be clearly heard.
Thank you, Lori. We'll hear from Stan Bates first.
Good morning. My name is Stan Bates, and I'm a proud member of District 1. I just want to make a couple of quick comments. Number one, I really want the city to continue fully funding the police and the fire department. I'd also like them to continue funding the security officers that they're hiring for our parks to keep the homeless out. In addition to that, I'm glad that we have about 18 months because of the surplus to be able to figure out how to carry over and fix the budgets for the following few years. So those are my comments. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Stan. Our next speaker is Tim Kenobi.
Hello, members of the community, Councilwoman O'Brien, Assistant City Manager Lori Bays. My name is Tim Kenobi, and I'm with the United Phoenix Firefighters. I worked at Station 33, just up the road, for about 2 years. And we're here to raise awareness for our Phoenix Fire Crisis campaign. And the fact that we're here shows how serious we are about the consequences of our response times in Phoenix. Response times in Phoenix are about 9 minutes now, much higher than the national standard of 5 minutes. In this neighborhood, in this council district, the average response time for an ambulance is just over 11 minutes. So at Station 33, both the fire truck, the engine, and the ladder truck are running over 4,500 calls. They ran over 4,500 calls last year, and the ambulance ran 5,500 calls last year. Anything over 4,000 calls per year is considered extreme. And what I mean by that is when they're running that amount of calls, they're busy to the extent that other fire trucks have to come into the neighborhood when other 911 calls go out, thus increasing response times. So to effectively decrease response times, we're asking that the community supports our elected leaders in adding more firefighters, fire trucks, more paramedics, and ambulances to the city. So again, we ask that you support our elected leaders in them making these decisions to add these much needed resources. And if you could, for more info, you can visit phxfirecrisis.com for more info. I thank you for your time and your support.
Those were our two speakers that signed up, so unless somebody filled out a card in the last 5 minutes, we've heard from our two speakers.
Well, that concludes our meeting for today then. We really appreciate all of you coming out and listening to the presentation. And again, if you decide later that you'd like to provide some feedback, you can do that the multitude of ways that were described on the video. Thank you so much.